Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Super Sugar Muck is back here with another video for you guys. And guys, it's Saturday night, and I'm going to be giving you my game picks for week, what are we at now? 10 of the 2022 NFL season. So let's jump right into it, guys. Coming up, so for the first time ever, the NFL is debuting in Germany. This game will be played in Munich tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Time. We have the 6-3 Seahawks and the 4-5 Buccaneers again. I saw quote unquote at the 4-5 Buccaneers, but it's a neutral location in Munich, Germany. So very much looking forward to this. I don't know if you guys know, Germany is at least part of my German is part of my ethnicity. I'm also taking the language in high school, so it really is cool to see this game being played in Germany. I'm looking forward to watching. Anyways, this game, it's a big game for both sides. I mean, the Bucs, of course, finally got a win last week. They didn't play great. They were pretty sloppy, especially offensively, but they finally powered through, scored at the end to beat the Rams. And they find themselves still, I think for right now, they are in first place in the division because the Falcons lost Thursday to the Panthers. And so now they're 4-6. The Saints are worse. So you have the Panthers won, but I think the Bucs are still a game ahead of the Panthers, I think. So the Bucs know they need to win this game, stay ahead of the division. Even if it doesn't look great record-wise, they still can easily win the division because that division is horrible this year. Seattle, meanwhile, has been balling. I mean, they are playing really good football right now, especially Geno Smith. I don't know where I know where he came from, but he has kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, I remember his young days with the Jets, but he was pretty bad. And now here he is with Seattle, and he's actually having probably his best year of his career. However, I am going to take the Bucs here. I think that the Seahawks are pretty inconsistent. I mean, the Bucs are inconsistent too, but the Bucs are desperate for a win. I think they can really build off of that win last week. Again, they didn't play great, but they were able to come from behind and win in the end, and that is always a good sign for a team trying to break out of a slump. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay here. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but give me Tampa Bay winning this game 23-20 in Munich. Okay, guys, next game we have the 7-1 Vikings at the 6-2 Bills. Now we're into the regular time slots. This is going to be an interesting game, but of course, one of the big headlines, Josh Allen is questionable with an elbow injury. It's been really bothering him, actually, and it's also at his throwing arm. It's his throwing elbow, so that is definitely going to play a role. And, of course, even if he plays, he's obviously not going to be 100%, and you do wonder how much it's going to affect his deep ball and arm strength if the elbow is bugging him. And hopefully he's able to just play through the rest of the season and not have to get surgery. We'll see. But regardless, Allen is obviously not going to be himself tomorrow, so that is a big blow and, of course, a big advantage for the Vikings. Vikings, meanwhile, I think health-wise they're pretty good. Of course, they got their core on offense with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and then Cousins. I think both teams, they have great records. I think both teams are beatable. I don't think either team is insane. I think both teams are good and will make a solid playoff run, but I don't think either team is invincible by any means. It's in Buffalo, and I know the Vikings, especially Kirk Cousins, struggle on the road, but I think the Vikings are a really good all-around team, and I also think that they're going to take advantage of Allen being at least not himself, or he may not even play. So if he doesn't play, that's one thing, but even if he does play, I think he's not going to be himself. So give me the Vikings pulling this one out, guys, 27-24, but it should be a very good game. Next game, guys, we have the 2-6 Lions at the 3-6 Bears. Not a game anybody really cares about, but the Lions, obviously 2-6, they suck, no surprise. The Bears, 3-6, they kind of suck. They just don't suck quite as badly, I guess you could say. It's in Chicago, I guess. The Bears, because besides the Vikings in the division, it's actually really not good this year. The Packers suck, the Lions suck, and the Bears suck. Obviously, the Vikings are going to win the division, but the Bears could, I guess, perhaps be the 7th seed, but I kind of doubt it. But it's in Chicago. I guess I'll go with the Bears here, 24-17. Next game, guys, we have the 3-6 Jaguars at the 6-2 Chiefs. So the Jaguars, again, got off to kind of a quirky start, and they were 2-1 after smoking the Chargers, but it's gone from bad to worse since then. They've lost, I think, 4 out of their last 5, or 5 of their last 6, whatever. They've not been playing well at all. The defense has not been very good. Trevor Lawrence, he had a good first few games, but he's not been great since. They have some talent, on the offensive side, like Travis Etienne or Etienne, I don't know how you say it, and of course Trevor Lawrence as well, but there's not enough firepower there, and they're not a well-coached team either, I don't think. The Chiefs, meanwhile, pulled off a pretty crazy win against the Titans last week. Definitely a down game for them offensively, you could tell. I mean, the Titans defense, mind you, was decent, but, Chiefs at home only scoring 20 points. You're not really used to that. And there was clearly some frustration going on, I could tell. So the Chiefs offense is definitely looking for a bounce back. After kind of a tough game last week, and this is a great opportunity to do it. They're at home. The Jaguars kind of suck, if we're being honest, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs winning this game pretty easily. Let's go with the Chiefs 34-13. Next game, guys, we have the 3-5 Browns at the 6-3 Dolphins. So the Browns sitting here at 3-5. They've had their bye. Obviously, they're not playing very well right now. They have some strengths, such as the running game and the offensive line, but they have too many weaknesses. They don't win in close games. Jacoby Brissett is ever inconsistent, and generally, he's more bad than good, I think. And then I also was hearing that I think starting this week, Deshaun Watson can start practicing. I don't think he can play until, week 12, week 13, but he is at least going to start practicing with them, so that's something. But even if, the Browns, I think, have to, I don't know about win out, but they have to go on a real good tear if they want to make the playoffs this year. I know the AFC North is not very good this year, but there's still a lot of teams fighting. And the AFC in general is quite good, just not the division. And I definitely don't think they'll win the division. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati will be ahead of them. So if the Browns want to make a run, they're going to have to clear up their issues, and it's like their playoff start now. And they can't just play the wait game and hold out until Watson gets back. If they do that, by the time Watson gets back, even if Watson comes back and is incredible, it's going to be too late. And I have my doubts. I think Watson, I don't think he's going to be great this year, truthfully. I think it's going to take him a little bit to settle in. So I think the Browns, it's not their year, clearly. Dolphins, meanwhile, they got off to a really good start, then definitely backed off when Tua Tagovailoa got hurt. Obviously, that contributed to it, but they were in a skid for a little bit. But now they've kind of gotten it back going again. The offense is playing very, very well. Obviously, Tagovailoa, he continues to show his big liability is his arm strength. The guy just cannot throw it very far. But his short and medium range accuracy, I actually think has improved a lot. And Tyreek Hill especially, Waddle too, but Hill is just playing out of his mind right now. He is having an incredible season. And I see no reason why that won't continue tomorrow. The Browns defense is at least decent, but I think it will not be enough to stop the Dolphins. So it could be the Dolphins winning this game, guys, 34-17. Next game, guys, we have the 1-6-1 Texans at the 6-2 Giants. So the Texans absolutely suck. No surprise there. The Giants, meanwhile, 6-2. So they look good record-wise. As a team, I think they're okay. I don't think they're great. They have some talent, of course, with Barkley. Defensively, they got Leonard Williams. But I still don't think that they're a great team overall. I think, of course, one of their weaknesses is Daniel Jones. I don't think he's very good. But the Giants, if they were to go to 7-2, that would really leave a mark. Obviously, they're not going to win the NFC East. The Eagles are going to take that. But they continue to play. They're in a big matchup now, a big battle with the Cowboys, because I think they have the same record, and that could go either way. And, of course, the head-to-head matchups are going to be a big player in that as well. But at home, playing against one of the worst teams of football, I see no reason why the Giants would lose this game. So give me the Giants winning this game, guys, 27-17. Next game, guys, we have the 3-6 Saints at the 2-6 Steelers. So one big headline for this game, Steelers, TJ Watt is returning tomorrow. Big, big boost for the Steelers. I think this is finally going to be a year where the Steelers are not going to be worrisome. The Steelers have always been, the talent honestly hasn't been there, but they've always been scrappy and been able to get it done and at least be a playoff contender. They haven't made it every year, but they've, again, always been a very scrappy team. I think this is the first year they're finally going to be below that. They're not horrible, but they are not going to be good enough to make the playoffs or even be a contender for the playoffs, I think. However, with TJ Watt coming back, I think he provides a big boost to them. Of course, the defense gets significantly better. The pass rush gets significantly better. But Watt is also a leader. He knows, he really fires up the team. And I think that little jolt is going to help them. And then from the Saints, of course, lost to Baltimore on Monday night. You'd love to see that. And it's interesting because the game before that, they felt great. They dominated the Raiders, shut them out, but then they kind of got dominated by the Ravens. And now they're going into Pittsburgh. I don't know. I kind of think this is the classic battle of mid here. I don't think either team is good. It's in Pittsburgh, though. This Saints looked pretty bad last week, especially offensively. TJ Watt's coming back, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Steelers are going to take this one. Give me Pittsburgh pulling this one out in a slugfest of a game, 21-17. Next game, guys, we have the 3-5 Broncos at the 5-3 Titans. So the Broncos, obviously underperforming this year. Russell Wilson has not been himself. I mean, they're sitting here at 3-5. The AFC West has definitely been disappointing this year. I called it. I thought that division was overrated going into the year, and it's definitely panning out. Chargers are okay, not great. The Raiders suck. The Chiefs are good. But the Broncos easily could get second place in that division, and I don't know. They could sneak in. I don't think it's going to happen, but it wouldn't shock me. The Titans, meanwhile, their 5-game winning streak did come to an end last Sunday when they lost to the Chiefs. But again, they put up a pretty good fight, and I think the Titans are playing pretty good football right now. Malik Willis, I thought, looked at least decent last week. I don't know if Tannehill is back in this game. I haven't even checked. But regardless, one guy who has been absolutely cooking is, you guessed it, Derrick Henry. He has been unbelievably good. And the Titans, I mean, their offense revolves around him. And I know it's not great to revolve around one guy, but when it's working, I mean, you can't shy away from it when it's working, right? And the Broncos' defense is not remotely the same as it used to be. It's the Titans are at home. They're going to be angry after losing to the Chiefs last week. So I think the Titans should definitely win this game. Give me Tennessee winning this one and dominating on the ground, 31-17. Next game, guys, now we're moving into our later slots. We have the 3-5-1 Colts at the 2-6 Raiders. So the Colts have been a big-time disappointment this year. Matt Ryan, there was some hope that maybe with a new team, finally got a fresh start with a new team. Maybe he would get something going. He has not. And it's been Sam Ehlinger playing quarterback as Ryan got benched. So clearly things did not go to plan there. And the Colts also fired their head coach, Frank Reich, this week. Again, no surprise there. Reich has always I think he's been a very mediocre coach, and it was time to move on. And then the Colts have also had injuries, big time. Jonathan Taylor has been in and out with an ankle injury. And then more bad news, Shaquille Leonard, obviously their best defensive player, is going to be out for a while with a back injury. Apparently, he got placed on IR, which means you have to miss at least 4 weeks. So he obviously will not be playing in this game. So it's going to be a really tough uphill battle for the Colts. And truthfully, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I know they went on kind of a magical run last year. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I just don't think they have the firepower for it. Raiders, meanwhile, have probably been the biggest disappointment this year. I don't know. You could argue that for some other teams as well, but the Raiders have been underperforming big time. Carr has just not been himself at all. Adams has been pretty good, but he can only do so much. The Raiders defense just continues to suck. I don't know what it's going to take for the Raiders to finally invest some money in the defense. I'm curious. When are the Raiders going to do it? Because every single year it's the same problem. Their defense just absolutely sucks. Last year it was somewhat better, and then they lost their few good guys, and now it's trash again. I don't understand. I also don't think they're a well-coached team. I don't think Josh McDaniels is a good head coach. I think he's a good offensive mind, but I don't think he's a good all-around coach. However, going back to this game specifically, it's in Las Vegas, which helps. The Colts are squandering out of control right now. I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's back, but even if he is, they're without other guys, no Shaquille Leonard. So I think the Raiders are going to pull this one out. Give me the Raiders 23-20, but it's kind of going to be a slugfest of a game. All right, guys. Next game, we have the 6-2 Cowboys at the 3-6 Packers. This was a game that got actually leaked a little bit before the full NFL schedule came out. And when the schedule first came out, you thought, oh, this is a game to circle. What a game this is going to be. But appearances can be deceiving, and I'm not sure that it's going to be a great game here. I mean, the Cowboys-Packers games are generally close, and actually, generally, the Packers beat the Cowboys. The Packers have generally had the Cowboys' number, but it's not going to happen this time, I don't think. The Cowboys, again, regular season, they can dominate. I think Prescott is playing quarterback for them right now, as far as I know. And then running backs, of course, they got Elliott and Pollard. Receivers, you have Lamb and Gallup. Obviously, they have their health issues. But the Cowboys' defense has also improved big time. Micah Parsons has just been unbelievably good. Again, when healthy. I know he's been battling some injuries, but when he's in there, Parsons is just an absolute warrior. Trayvon Diggs, of course, and they got some other guys. Dexter Lawrence in the pass rush, and DeMarcus Lawrence as well. So the Cowboys are obviously having one of their best years. I think they're going to fall in the playoffs yet again. Why? Because Prescott's not a winner. I'm telling you. The Cowboys are not going anywhere with Prescott at quarterback. But they can win this regular season game for sure. And the Packers, I mean, I want to say they're finally going to snap out of it. They're finally going to get it going. But, man, as I was saying about the Colts, it is going to be a very tough uphill battle for them. I know they're at home, but they are just playing like absolute garbage right now. They've lost, 4 in a row? Rodgers has not been himself. But, honestly, Rodgers has been like a small sample of an issue. The bigger issues have been their defense has not been as good. It's been decimated with injuries, and it only got worse. Rashawn Gary, their best pass rusher, maybe even their best defensive player, went out with a torn ACL last week. He's done for the year. Eric Stokes, I think, is done for at least a long time, maybe the year. So the Packers are very banged up, and it's just only getting worse. I think Bakhtiari is hurt again, so it's looking pretty tough for the Packers. And I think the Cowboys pass rush is going to give them a ton of trouble because the Packers offensive line, when healthy, it's good, but it's just never healthy. So I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I'm pulling for the Packers, but I don't think it's going to happen. Give me the Cowboys winning this game, guys. 30-16. Next game, guys, we have the 3-6 Cardinals at the 3-5 Rams. This is another game. Like when it first came out in the schedule, you think, oh, what a game this is going to be. But another appearance that was deceiving. So yeah, the Cardinals kind of suck, and the Rams kind of suck. The Rams, of course, coming off a tough loss to the Bucks last week. Close game, good game, but the Rams fell short. The Cardinals, meanwhile, just a lot of issues going on right now. I'm continuing to push my agenda that just Kyler Murray is not that good. He's been playing like absolute garbage, and Hopkins has had enough, man. I actually think there's a good chance that Hopkins is gone after this year. I don't think he's ever totally gelled in Arizona, and he and Kyler Murray are not on the same page right now. Last week, some footage got leaked, and they were having a pretty intense shouting match. They're not on the same page at all. And Marquise Brown, he's not back yet as far as I know. I don't know when he's coming back, but the offense is not itself. The defense has always been an issue. It's in LA. Again, both teams are very mediocre. I don't think either team is very good. But give me the Rams winning this game, guys. Just the benefit of the doubt here. I'll go with LA pulling this one out 24-20. Okay, guys, this is our Sunday Night Football game. We have the 5-3 Chargers at the 4-4 Niners. So the Chargers, again, per usual, they're very up and down. Sometimes they look great. Sometimes they look pretty bad. Niners, meanwhile, they too have been back and forth. Sometimes they look great. Sometimes they look pretty bad. Of course, their big trade acquisition and getting Christian McCaffrey, who has been very good. But per usual, they always seem to be a team that's hit really hard with injuries, and that's happening again this year. Garoppolo, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. Defensively, too, they're inconsistent. They can be on, they can be off. So I think tomorrow it's really going to come down to what kind of team do we see? Do we see the Chargers when they're actually playing well, or do we see the Chargers when they're playing like absolute garbage? Niners, same thing. But the Chargers are going to have to, again, another uphill battle because they are without Keenan Allen and I think Mike Williams as well. Their top two receivers. That receiver duo is so good when they're healthy, but they really have a hard time staying healthy. It's in San Francisco, which helps. Again, the Chargers are pretty banged up. The Niners kind of are too, but at home, Herbert without at least one of his top receiving targets. I'm going to go with the Niners winning this game, guys. And let's go with a lower scoring game here. Niners win 23-17. Okay, guys, this is our last game, Monday Night Football. We have the 4-5 Commanders against the 8-0 Eagles, the only undefeated team left. So the Commanders are trying to, make a fight back here. They felt pretty good after beating the Packers, 2 weeks ago? And then they fell just short beating the Vikings. They had the game in the bag. They were up for a while, but they just could not hang on in the end, and they fell short. Eagles, meanwhile, again, only undefeated team left. Everything is clicking for them right now. They've clicking on offense. Their defense has been playing well. And, hey, their defense may be old, but it's still got it, as they say. Offensive line, they may have some old guys, but they are still dominating. So all is good there, but then there's always the question, are the Eagles peaking too early? Where is the adversity? They need to face adversity. I just had PTSD from the Ravens in 2019. So it's all of those are very reasonable considerations. However, I think the Eagles are going to get this win. I do think the Eagles are going to lose a game at some point. I don't think they're going 17-0, but I don't think they're going to lose Monday night. They're at home. The Commanders again have been playing better as of late, but they're still, I think, a very mediocre team. The Eagles are healthy now, as far as I know, as well. And then the question is, do the Eagles lose a game at some point? And again, I think that they will. And I know they have kind of had an easier schedule. I know, but you can only use that excuse for so long. And it's not like they play. It's not like they dictate their schedule. Okay, they play whoever's on their schedule, and they're beating the teams that they should beat. So they have had an easy schedule, and it is worth mentioning that. But you can only use that excuse so much. And with it being in Philadelphia, I think the Eagles should get this win pretty easily. So give me the Eagles winning this game, guys, 31-17. And guys, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, maybe be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'm out. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. Go Ravens, man. And of course, as you probably noticed, no Ravens game this week. So unfortunately, there was no Ravens game to talk about. What a shame. But we will be back next week hosting Carolina. And I know it's a great time for the bye week. Let some guys get rest, get healthy, and we'll come out firing. So I will see you guys next Saturday for my game picks. Have a great weekend and enjoy Week 10.